A stark contrast to my sense that something was not right. I knew as I clutched my firstborn child that I was losing my second. Hours later, I lay in a hospital bed holding my husband's hand. I felt the clamminess of his palm and kissed his knuckles, wet from both our tears. I tried to imagine how we'd heal, watching my husband's heart break as he tried to hold the shattered pieces of mine. I realized that the only way to begin to heal is to first ask, are you okay?
Yeah, and when she asked Harry that question, Meghan writes that she was reminded of an ITV reporter asking her that same question during an interview last year. It's something that she says she's rarely asked, and here is that moment to remind you.
I don't know what the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under.
I would say, look, any woman especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable. And so that was made really challenging. And then when you have a newborn,
It's a long time ago, but I remember, yeah.
And especially as a woman, it's a lot. So you add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay. But it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay? As in, it's really been a struggle.
Yes.
So in the essay, Meghan goes on to say that this year has brought so many of us to our breaking points. Loss and pain have plagued every one of us in 2020 in moments both fraught and debilitating. Then she mentions people that have lost loved ones to COVID-19, and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd being killed by police, and the protests that followed.
And in terms of her and Harry dealing with the miscarriage, Meghan writes this: losing a child means carrying an almost unbearable grief, experienced by many but talked about by few. In the pain of our loss, my husband and I discovered that in a room of 100 women, 10 to 20 of them will have suffered from miscarriage. Yet despite the staggering commonality of this pain, the conversation remains taboo, riddled with unwarranted shame and perpetuating a cycle of solitary mourning. Let us commit to asking others, are you okay? As much as we may disagree and physically distance as we may be, the truth is that we are more connected than ever because of all we have individually and collectively endured this year. We are adjusting to a new normal where faces are concealed by masks, but it's forcing us to look into one another's eyes, sometimes filled with warmth, other times with tears. For the first time in a long time, as human beings, we are really seeing one another. Are you okay? We will be.
Yeah, when it comes to the royal family, we have just confirmed that the palace did know that this had happened in the summer, and Meghan would go public with it. Now, officially, the Buckingham Palace says it's a deeply personal matter we would not comment on. Yes, a lot of people are just saying this is sad. Cheryl says, sad. Visaris is so sad for Meghan. Jennifer says the same thing. Lucy says, I feel so bad. As he says, the hate for her is real, but I still don't understand why. Maybe because I'm American, I'm so far removed. People are just saying they're really blown away at how sad this is.
Is what we talked about yesterday
with John and Chrissy.
With Chrissy Teigen and John, where how people choose to mourn is their own business, but also you're always hear stories when somebody goes through that is trauma, whether it's a miscarriage or losing a child or anybody, and the one thing that helps some people is commonality, is being able to talk to other people who have gone through similar situations. And that's exactly what, Meghan said that she wanted to do with this article, and that, maybe she didn't realize, how common this was, and that's something she does now, and it's something you're aware of. But hearing other people's stories is something that helps a lot of people get through.
Yeah, Christine says, I feel for both Meghan and Harry. I'm grateful for her talking about her loss. It brings the conversation of miscarriage into the open. I wish them all the best. I think it will, her being open, just like Chrissy doing that. I think it will, get more people talking about it. Reading the article, too, it's funny, when she brings in COVID-19, when she brings in George Floyd, when she brings in Breonna Taylor, I got the sense that it was, because no one wants to give Meghan Markle sympathy at a certain point, right? So was this her being like, there's other problems in the world, too. Like, I felt bad that I thought she still felt the need
to
be
had
like,
to.
oh, there's other problems in the world. It's not just about me. Like, even in this instance, she feels the instance that I can't make this all about me. I need to, tie it to a bigger world and acknowledge that there's other problems out there. I found that actually really sad, that not for that she had to do that. That just seems sad. It still can't be about her. It still has to be about something else and not just about her.
Yeah, and it's interesting because what she went through is usually that other thing.
Right.
It's usually when somebody's complaining about something frivolous where you say, hey, hang on a second here. There's a lot of people going through things like miscarriages.
Yeah.
Like that's usually the other thing that, sort of puts the perspective in people. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that, she couldn't have said what she said and risk backlash without acknowledging, other hurts that are happening. Even though you can be sad about both and you don't always have to say them together.
Yeah. Courtney says, I agree it might help to heal by talking about it. JJ says she and Chrissy should meet. I have a feeling there might be something that they create together. Yeah. Lucy says that's terrible. But another question too, the palace is saying they knew about this. If Harry and Meghan were in their official roles, still very much in that royal family, do you think they would have made this public? Or would the royal family have been like, no, you can't reveal that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Like, you wonder if she would have been able to be this open about it if she was still in that world.
I think the difference is this. Whether they would have been able to go public with it or not, that I don't know. But the way she went public with it, I would say absolutely not.
Right.
I don't think that if they were still, at Frogmore and sort of under that, the royal umbrella, would she have been allowed to write something for the New York Times?
Right.
I don't think that would have happened. Now, whether we would have found out or they would have gone, I don't know. I don't know.
Because think of all the stuff that the royal family, keeps quiet and keeps behind closed doors.
Well, stuff they still keep quiet and keep behind closed doors.
Right. So you wonder if.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, but she certainly wouldn't have been able to affect. And that's the thing about the royal family is that, that you want them to sort of be those things like Diana was. Diana was, she made people feel better because she existed. Yeah. And, you can't do that when you're not allowed to do what you're good at or tell the stories that you want to tell or be as open as you want to be. And, now that I think about it, it would have been heartbreaking if she wasn't allowed to go through this the way that she chose to go through it. And that was, connecting with other women and